You were sweating and not because of the weather. The air inside the cafe was a mix of cinnamon, espresso, and anxiety. You had reached 20 minutes early because you couldn't sit at home any longer, pacing like a madwoman, checking your lipstick in every reflective surface and reciting your own name like you might forget it under pressure. Your heart had been pounding ever since you texted your CEO, cold, ruthlessly professional John Jungkook, that you couldn't come to work today because of really bad cramps. Stay home, take rest. That was his reply. Short, straightforward, polite, but laced with something you couldn't name. You didn't feel guilty, okay, maybe a little, but this was important. You were finally meeting your online boyfriend of 6 months, Cookie Heart 97. You hadn't seen his face, not even once, but his voice, smooth, deep, comforting. You had been drawn in by his strange combination of teasing sarcasm and quiet warmth. A gamer, an introvert, mysterious, sweet, an overthinker just like you. You were nervous and excited and nauseous. Then your phone buzzed. A text from him. I see you. White shirt, nervous fingers, cute. Your heart skipped so hard it hurt. You froze, your eyes scanned the cafe like a spy on a mission, and then your gaze landed on him. Tall, black shirt, pierced lip, hair pushed back, eyes sharp enough to cut glass, and unfortunately, unmistakably your boss, John freaking Jungkook. He was walking toward you like he did through boardrooms, like the room belonged to him, and he smiled just a little. That's when it hit you. That voice you used to fall asleep to, the one who called you princess when you had a bad day, the one who had sent you memes at 2 a.m., the one who knew everything about you. Your online boyfriend was your cold, unreadable CEO. You forgot how to breathe. He sat across from you, leaned back like this was just another performance review, and folded his arms. So, he began, voice calm and dangerously amused. Cookie Heart 97. Your mouth opened, closed, opened again. What? You were malfunctioning. His lips twitched. Didn't expect it to be me. I thought you hate emojis. You don't even smile in meetings. He raised a brow. You judged my entire personality on office behavior. You are my boss. You hissed, panic bubbling up like soda. I lied about cramps. You did. He agreed, leaning in. You also told me you were in love with my voice 2 weeks ago. You wanted to faint right there on the table, just slide off the seat and die peacefully. You stared at your untouched coffee. I think I need to go. But he didn't look surprised or angry or smug. He just looked like he was seeing all of you now. Not the version that sat in his office typing reports, not the professional one who said, "Noted, sir," 100 times a day. Why? You took a risk, lied to your boss with something he couldn't say no to, and came to meet your online boyfriend only to leave without a proper date. You swallowed. Never in my dreams I thought you would be that guy. He was looking at you. You blocked video calls. He said softly, because I was scared. I thought maybe if I didn't see your face, it would stay safe, easy. Jungkook's voice lowered. And was it easy? No. You whispered. He smiled this time, full, real, the kind of smile that never touched his face at work. I wasn't sure it was you either, he said, until last night. Your brows furrowed. The way you typed your commas, you always add two spaces after ellipses. I noticed it in the last report you submitted. You noticed my typing? You whispered. I notice everything about you. His voice was soft, but it hit like a thunderclap. You sat back, heart beating far too fast. This is insane. You are literally the man I complained about in the chat. I saw the screenshot where you called me a power drunk devil with a Rolex. You clapped a hand over your face. He chuckled. You could have told me, you muttered. So could you, Touchy. You were quiet for a while, the hum of coffee machines, the soft chatter around you, his gaze never leaving your face. This is unprofessional, you whispered. Extremely, probably illegal. Depends on the HR manual. But you looked up, eyes wide. What now? He leaned closer, so close you could see the faint scar on his jaw. You never noticed before. That depends. Are you still interested in your mystery boyfriend now that he has a name and a very cold CEO face? You couldn't help it. You laughed. He smiled again, that gorgeous, rare smile that felt like a secret between just the two of you. Are you? You asked, voice barely a whisper. I have been falling for you since the day you roasted my coffee making skills and sent me that ugly frog meme. You blinked. Wait, you were the one who brought the office espresso machine right after I complained in the chat? He nodded. Were you always this sneaky? He grinned. Always. You sipped your coffee finally, trying to steady your nerves, and then he said it. So, second date? You choked. He didn't stop smiling. You didn't sleep that night. Every time you closed your eyes, you saw Jungkook smirk, his bored expression when he watched you stutter like a goldfish, the way he casually sipped his coffee like he hadn't just shattered your entire life. Work the next day felt like death warmed over. When you entered the office, Jungkook was already at his desk, looking expensive, deadly, and so unreadable it made you want to scream. You tried tiptoeing past him. Good to see your cramps have healed, he said without looking up. The entire floor turned to look at you. You stopped breathing. Caffeine? He continued, pushing a cup toward you. I figured you would need it after our date, or would you prefer a heating pad? You took the cup and mumbled a thank you before nearly sprinting to your desk. Your coworkers gave you a look that said, what the hell did you do? And you weren't ready to explain that your secret boyfriend was also your cold CEO and that he knew everything. Later that day, you got an email. Subject, policy violation, body. I'll overlook the lie this once. But starting tomorrow, we'll be working closely on the Kim project. Let's see how well you perform under pressure. JJK. You wanted to scream or cry or both. Instead, you cursed every dating app in existence. Working closely with Jungkook was like working with a sculpted iceberg, beautiful but emotionally freezing and capable of sinking you fast. He never brought up the cafe incident again, but his behavior? Diabolical. He would lean over your desk unnecessarily, his voice low and warm in your ear. He would accidentally call you sweetheart in meetings, then smirk when you fumbled your water. And that one time when you dropped a file, he bent down with you at the same time, faces too close, heart too loud, and breath gone. You are jumpy, he murmured. You are evil. You shot back and he grinned. That's not a denial. Outside the office, he still texted you as Cookie Heart 97 like nothing had changed. Still sweet, still thoughtful, still devastatingly charming. You were dangerously falling for both versions of him until they began to feel like one person. One very confusing, cocky, addictive person. It was raining hard, you had stayed late for the project, and of course your umbrella had magically disappeared. Jungkook appeared beside you with his. Come on, I'll walk you to the station. You both shared the small black umbrella. He was so close his calling was messing with your brain. You haven't unmatched me, he said casually. You glanced up. Should I? His eyes searched yours. I don't know. Should you? For a moment, neither of you spoke, just the sound of rain, thunder, and the thunder in your chest. You stopped walking, turned to him, and then it happened. He leaned in slowly, and you froze. His lips were right there, but then a voice called, "Hey, CEO." You both turned. It was Jimin, your co-worker, holding your umbrella. You forgot this. Oh, hey, am I interrupting something? Yes, Jungkook said sharply. You wanted to evaporate. The second you stepped into the office, something felt off. You froze mid-step. Your desk, your neat, minimal color-coded heaven, was absolutely plastered in yellow sticky notes. Everywhere, your monitor, keyboard, mousepad, even your poor plant. You peeled one off with trembling fingers. Nice date, cramps, huh? And then another, CEO's favorite now. Your jaw clenched, heat rushed to your face like a wave. You could feel eyes, whispers, smirks behind coffee mugs, that subtle snicker from marketing you always hated. The receptionist gave you a very pointed look, then quickly turned away like she wasn't just gossiping with her eyes. You reached for a handful of notes, heart racing, when you heard the unmistakable sound of polished leather shoes against the floor. John Jungkook, he stepped into the room like a cold gust of wind, his expression stone, deadly calm, too calm. The chatter died instantly, his eyes scanned the room like a wolf surveying prey until they landed on your desk. His jaw tensed. Meeting room, he said, voice sharp enough to cut steel. Everyone, now. The room froze, people exchanged glances, chairs scrapped, a nervous intern dropped her tablet. You stood too, hesitant, unsure whether you were supposed to follow, but then Jungkook turned to you for a split second and gave the smallest nod. You followed. 5 minutes later, the entire team sat in the glass-walled conference room. It was so silent you could hear the ticking of Jungkook's expensive watch. He stood at the front, black suit, flawless, jawline sharp, hands in his pockets like this was just another quarterly report, but his eyes, they were fire. I don't care for office gossip. Jungkook began, his voice calm, collected, and dangerously so. I don't have time for it, but what I will not tolerate is the disrespect of any employee under my management. He took a slow, measured breath. Sticky notes, whispers, assumptions, passive aggressive, that ends today. He looked around the room like he could see through every soul in it. If anyone here has a problem with me dating someone on this team, he paused and your heart dropped into your stomach. You are welcome to file a formal complaint to HR. The air in the room thickened, someone cleared their throat. Jungkook stepped forward, voice softening, but somehow it made everything 10 times more intense. But just so we are clear, she didn't seduce me, she didn't ask for favoritism, she didn't even know I was the man behind the screen. He looked right at you now, right through you. She didn't change anything. I was already in love with her. You forgot how to breathe. The room collectively gasped. Someone dropped a pen. Another person whispered, "Oh my God." Holy grill, someone said under their breath. You stared at him wide-eyed, mouth slightly parted, heat blooming across your cheeks so fast it almost burned. Jungkook, completely unfazed, turned back to the team. If you're here to work, work. If you're here to gossip, you're wasting company's time. Then he simply walked out like he hadn't just nugged the entire office floor with a confession. You sat at your desk later in a daze. Most of the sticky notes were gone, thanks to an apologetic intern who silently peeled them off after witnessing the nuclear bomb that was John Jungkook's fury. You sipped your now cold coffee, unsure whether you wanted to scream, cry, or crawl. Your phone buzzed. Still want to have dinner tonight? I promise no work talk. Just me and the girl I fell for through texts, sarcasm, and caffeine addiction. You stared at the message, blinking. He was serious. He had just confessed in front of everyone, said he loved you, took a professional risk without blinking. You bit your lips, smiling despite the embarrassment curling in your belly. Your fingers hovered over the keyboard. Still craving caramel macchiato and chaos? You typed. A reply came instantly, only if it comes with you sitting across from me. Your heart thudded. You were so in trouble, but maybe, just maybe, trouble had never looked this good.